Alright, welcome back. Now it will be time to take a look at the Dominix Navy. This is a ship that quickly became one of my favorites, and pretty much the reason why I went with the Bombard implant is the Dominix Navy. I saw the potential of this thing right on the very start, especially when I heard rumors about that module coming up. That module being a siege mode, which now we have on all the navies and siege battleships. Now, some of you guys wanted me to compare the Dominix Navy with the Cobra. I didn't forget about that. It's the problem is I need to wait for a test server to be open, and for now it's closed for some reason. I don't have ESC to buy one, and yeah, that's pretty much the reason why I haven't done that. But the moment I can do the Dominix Navy versus Cobra, I'll do it, because I'm also interested to see how these two ships compare. Now, as of now, I'm fairly sure that there is no other drone boat when it comes to battleships that rivals the Dominix Navy in terms of DPS. Now, the Dominix Navy does come with the usual Navy stuff. You get the damage and control activation time bonus and the activation delay. Also, you do get a slight bonus on the drone EHP. Now, 70% drone damage per skill level is definitely not a small number, and the beautiful thing about the Dominix is that the drone damage bonus is for all types of drones, small, medium, and large. And this is one of the reasons why I personally prefer the Dominix Hull over the Rattlesnake or Cobra, because the Rattlesnake or Cobra only has a bonus on the large ones, which could technically, in some cases, cause you issues if you get tackled by a smaller ship. With the Dominix Navy, you can just yeet out small and medium drones and just eat whatever ship is attempting to tackle you. Now, when it comes to a direct comparison between the Dominix Navy and the Cobra is a special faction battleship, and I think the DPS on these ships is pretty close. However, the Cobra doesn't really get a siege mode. The siege mode on the Dominix Navy does help a lot DPS wise, and also you do get some pretty scary nano cores, combining the fact that you can use all types of drones. However, I would say the Cobra does seem to have overall more hit points. It is a very good shield tank. It can be fitted to be extremely tanky, and it does get some bonuses on missile damage. However, you should not be fitting missile rigs on a Gurista pirate ship. I've seen some very bad builds in the past where I saw quite literally missile rigged rattlesnakes being promoted as being a good build, but that's not true, because your DPS on the ships, the main DPS, comes out of your drones. The missiles are your secondary weapon. And when it comes to the overall hit point, as I said before, the Cobra is a shield tank. It doesn't get the Navy resistance, but you do get a shield resistance bonus from the skills. The Dominix does get Navy resistances, which means you do get very high stats by default. However, it doesn't have as much shield as the Cobra. The armor value though is very interesting on this ship. If anything, I would use the Dominix Navy as a armor tank, because it is a Gallant ship after all, and the Gallant ships are known to have some decent armors. Now, fitting this thing is actually pretty easy. I personally prefer a full DPS build. Now, my Bombard is at level 32. I thought it was at 38. I have enough of these level up materials to make it level 40. However, I didn't put all of them in at the moment. I don't know why. I always want to put more, but I don't, because probably I need to reset some of my other implants, and that's pretty much the thing that's making me not level up Bombard. But yeah, level 32 might go and make it level 40. I'm still debating what to keep, what to remove implant wise, since I do plan to go all into drones. I thought I put all in Bombard. Apparently I didn't. I checked that in one of the last videos. Bombard is at level 32, but only even on level 32 you do get, or on 30 even, I mean 25 is even more than enough for the drone modes to get a significant DPS boost. Now, as I said before, fitting this thing is very easy. I go full DPS, but of course, if you want a more balanced build, you can definitely sacrifice a little bit of DPS for extra utility. I mean, you have a lot of ways to build this ship. I personally use the Dominix specifically for large targets, battlecruisers, battleships, stuff like that. And recently I started to use sentries. I have the Pulsar sentries. I don't know where I got them. I think they were cheap on the market, and I bought them cheap on the market. Now they cost a lot, but I decided to use them. I ended up really liking the sentries on Dominix Navy. Works really well if you have a tackle ship, as you will see later on in this video. But yeah, you can go an armor tank. I would personally recommend the armor tank if you want to use the ship for PvP. Then one adaptive or even two adaptives plus a damage control will most likely be more than enough. After all, you have to remember that you do have a lot of natural resistance on this ship, so having two adaptives will give you some decent stats, over 80% on most damage types, which is actually really good considering the fact that this is a full DPS ship. You do get a activation duration time bonus on the damage control, which means you do get slight immortality for about 16 or 25 seconds depending on what general unit you have, which is amazing. You can absorb a lot of damage from the damage control. I mean, that's pretty much the purpose for the module, to absorb damage. And that makes the Dominix Navy one of the more lethal ships. I mean, all the navies are generally speaking about the same. However, DPS wise, I feel like the Dominix Navy kind of unmatched. Reliants are also very powerful. However, I feel like the bombarding plant is just way too strong, and it pulls ahead out of all the ships. I feel like Bombard is still pulling ahead by a lot. And if you want to use this ship for PvE, you don't really have to change much. I mean, you can, if you want, of course, you can literally use this build for PvE, although I will still put some webs, just in case something small gets close. I don't do PvE without webs, but you can pretty much just change one or two modules and use the Dominix Navy as a sentry sniping PvE ship, and it will work just fine. Again, your DPS value will be very good on this ship, and it's just one of the more easier ships to build and fly. Pretty straightforward, really. I mean, with the Dominix, you can go full tank, brick tank, but I feel like that kind of loses its purpose with Bombard, because of the way the Bombard works right now. Making a tanky drone boat is good, but I feel like the Ralsik and the Cobra will do a better shield tank or overall tanky build than a Dominix Navy. I always felt like Dominix Navy is all about that DPS, and honestly I've been using it like that so far. High success with this thing. And also I said this before, but I feel very safe flying this Dominix. I did pull out all the expensive drones. I don't like to have like 50 billion of drones in my drone bay, because accidents can happen. So that's one thing that I change. But I do keep my offense drones, I do keep my sentry drones, and I do keep a wide variety of medium and small drones if I ever need them. So far I did not need them so far, but you never know, could be useful at one point. Okay, well, I said that I will have a good example. Let's eat a Raven Navy. Now, up until this moment I never really used the sentries on my PvP ships. I rarely actually use them, if ever, but in this case I decided, due to a lot of different circumstances and a lot of different problems, first being I forgot my drones somewhere, because I've been making other videos with my drones and I had to pull the drones back out of the ship, and in this case that kind of caused a little problem. I don't even have my nanocore. I think I have 2 or 3 nanocores for this ship. One is in Yita, the leveled up one, and I have one back up here on the Special Ops Dominix, which I will have to quickly take items from the Dominix. And yeah, this is the usual Nanocore that I use. I have a more level up Nanocore, but I rarely use it. It's rarely fitted on my Dominix because honestly I don't really need it. I haven't felt the this is the one that I'm working on. I have one that's more level up for DPS. This is just a Clear Sky core that I decided to take as a backup core. The usual one that I use. There's the other one. The only difference in the two cores is the DPS. I think the Thermal 2 core gives me around 2 or 3,000 more DPS. I rarely use that one. I don't know, I just never really needed it exactly. So I want to level up the Clear Sky one, so let me, I have to put back the drones here. And this is where I realized, okay, my other drones are somewhere in a different ship, and in this case I'm late. The Raven is still tackled, by the way. So I have to put whatever I have, and in this case I said, okay, sentries it is. I'll just slap the nanocore on top of the current ship that I have and pray that it works. Yeah, definitely not in this station. Okay, well that's fair enough. And let's go and see what happens. Now, my drones are doing EM and thermal, which is perfect for shield tank ships. It should melt the ship pretty quickly, but we are talking about a navy. They are, again, navies are known to be tanky. It doesn't matter what navy it is, they're tanky. Raven Navy is probably one of the tankier ones. One of the more tankier ones, that's for sure. Well, fingers crossed. I have to get all the drones. There we go, just to make sure that all of them open fire, because in some cases the drones refuse to open fire, and that gets a little bit annoying. But yeah, now let's see how quickly will this Raven get deleted by the Dominix Navy. Again, one of the first times I use sentries for combat like this. Usually I just use my offense drones because I don't really feel that safe with sentries. A lot of things can go wrong if you use sentries. 43 kilometers, that's a little bit too close for my taste for sentries, but I'll just eat and let's see what happens. First hit, well, that Raven is going down very quickly. That's a navy, by the way. Shield deleted. Now we're working our way through the armor, pulling the drones back in for another bomb reload, and let's launch. Bombs loaded, drones out, and yeah, the next cycle will... Yep, there we go. Raven destroyed. That was a navy. That was pretty quickly. Probably the fastest I've destroyed a navy so far. Usually I take my time with navies. In this case I didn't take my time with a navy, primarily because I was late and I didn't want to risk, losing the target. 16.5 billion. That's quite the expensive navy. Probably because it had some expensive modules inside, or maybe expensive rigs. Because if you don't remember, they have reduced the total price and the total kill value of navy ships a long time ago. That was actually their default price back in the day. Like a couple months ago, that was the normal price for a navy. Now it's around 6 to 8 on average, 6 to 8 billion. But that was an expensive one. That was admittedly a expensive one. Okay, let's see what we caught. 480 million ISK. Okay, not bad. Protector large. I actually thought that a generator dropped, but the generator did not drop. I was a extender. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, I mean still a expensive module, but yeah, that was a nice one. And let's do some PvE. Now I'll just put the Raven on screen because I forgot to take a closer look. They had tier 4 rigs, and that's pretty much why the ship was costing so much. The main reason for that was definitely the rigs. I wish that it was a generator. I kind of need more large shield generators for primarily to use them. I haven't really sold a lot of things lately. I need to start selling stuff again. I know I've been saying that the same thing for 10 videos in a row now, but I did sell some things. However, I need to sell more, especially if I want to use to fly the newer ships. Now, when it comes to new ships, I don't know what the future will bring to drone boats. I mean, I don't know if they can actually add any more drone boats. Maybe someone can bring up a ship that I missed. Maybe there is a special edition drone boat battleship from EVE Online that I'm missing. There's a lot of special edition ships that they can use. But if they do release something similar to Dominix Navy, I will probably fly it. However, battleship wise, I don't know if we will have a better drone boat than the Dominix Navy. I think like the Cobra has its purpose, that ship has its purpose. It's not a bad ship. I just don't like the fact that it only has a bonus on large drones. And one thing I forgot to mention about PvE, I forgot I have the blasters. If you're doing long range combat, fit a long range main weapon, because my blasters here are going to be a little bit useless, or you know, might be useful for close ships. If something gets close, I guess you can web them and use the blasters on them. But yeah, for the most part, you want long range weapons. That's one of the things I forgot to mention here. In any case, I think for now, Dominix Navy will stay my. Dominix Navy will probably stay as my favorite ship. Well, not favorite exactly, but will probably stay my main. That's the right term. The main battleship for now, just because it's able to delete ships in seconds. It's very safe to fly, very safe against
enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
It's very safe against tackle ships. My light drones, I think my light drones can hit like 20 kilometers per second. The medium drones can hit like 10-11 kilometers per second, which is more than enough to catch any slasher, more than enough to catch any cruiser. And the large drones and sentries are pretty much perfect to deal with the larger ships, as we have seen with the Raven Navy. So that's pretty much what I'm saying. I don't know if I'll have a different ship for this purpose. Maybe not. I mean, anything is possible, really. A high chance that I will have a ship for something else. But for now, when it comes to battleships and when it comes to drone boats, this is my go-to ships. I have a Macariel, the Macariel that we all know, that ship been with me since basically the early days of the game. But yeah, that ship is retired. I don't fly that often. I don't primarily use it for PvP anymore. It's just there because I just like the ship. And Dominix Navy will, for now, remain the primary battleship. Now there's the Nestor. I have a little problem with the Nestor. For one, the lack of a nanocore. Not exactly a big deal with me. I prefer to fly my ships with no nanocore. Honestly, in most cases, a nanocore is just overkill. But the way how the price of the ship, that's one. Let me just list the things one by one. Besides Dominix, before Dominix, the Nestor used to have the highest DPS output out of all battleships, based on the skills and on bonuses. This thing surpassed the Nestor. I think the Cobra might have more DPS than the Nestor. So, when it comes to the total DPS, values and how and let's call it the meta DPS when it comes to drones. It's changed a little bit. It used to be Nestor,
We're under
now it's the
attack.
Dominix Navy, and on the second place I would say it's the Rasnik. The Nestor lacks skill. The Nestor lacks nanocourse for damage. It's not exactly a PvP ship, although that thing can have some pretty nasty DPS. But if you want a drone boat, I would personally, if you want a DPS drone boat to be more accurate, I would recommend a Dominix. Dominix 2 is a good start. Dominix Tier 9 is also a good boat. You have the Black Ops Dominix as well. Pretty solid ship. I have to mention that ship as well. It's pretty solid. It's pretty good. And if you want DPS, of course. Now there is the Armageddon hull, which I kind of want to fly. Armageddon is a good ship. However, its primary role isn't really DPS. Armageddon's primary role is more
Ships
E-war.
detected.
So I think the Dominix might be the
We're
best
under
player choice
attack.
for general content and general combat. If you like
We're under
fleet
attack.
activities, then yeah, obviously E-war, if needed, is going to be pretty solid. The Armageddon Black Ops and Armageddon 2 is also some good ships. I had occasions to drop the Dominix Navy on Armageddon 2s, and I can tell you this thing deletes a Armageddon 2 very easily if they're built in the same way. As for the drones, now I would say my build is maybe a little bit overkill drone wise, but at the same time I kind of wanted to maximize the DPS on this thing, and in that aspect I think I've done a good job when it comes to maxing out the DPS. Not on this nanocore. I have to mention that I have a bunch of nanocores, bunch of different things for this ship that I can attach and change, interchange and stuff like that, so my DPS is not really constant all the time. Sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower, but generally speaking the DPS on this space potato is actually pretty scary. And this is where the siege mode comes into play. Siege mode plus drones plus bombard. On the balance scale of things, that's just broken. Okay, I'm still saying, I've been saying this for years now, bombard is broken. It used to be barrage implant until I started to use drone bombs, and then I was and then I was like, oh no, this is a lot worse.
We're under
I don't know how
attack.
things will pan out down the road for the implant. I said it
under
before, I'll
attack.
use it until it's nerfed. My primary reason, one of the reasons why I use it is because it's broken. I want it nerfed, and if there is one way to prove that it's broken, it's by using it. And honestly, so far I've had a blast, quite literally a blast, because it just pops stuff. It just pops the average build battleship. Only certain brick tanks will stand a chance against something like this, and even those ships will sweat profusely when they see the incoming DPS that a Dominix Navy can do. But with that being said, we are nearing the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you would like to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. Tell me what you think about the Dominix Navy, and with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.
Autopilot engaged.